Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. This is your boy, the coach from the WWE. I would like to welcome you to the very first wrestling podcast in the world to take you on a weekly deep dive into classic matches along with legends of the squared circle. Enjoy the discussion. Enjoy the back and forth. There's so much to get into. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Payoff.
Welcome to an all-new episode of The Payoff. I'm Tom. That's Jeff. We're in a new year. It only makes sense that we would cover a match from New Year's Revolution, and this one was 20 years ago, so this worked out perfectly.
Yeah. Celebrating.
You say it like you're surprised. You're the one that picks the matches. Why'd you pick this one?
I am. I know. Well, this is one with all the I feel like just a lot of big players in this one. Of course, we love Money in the Bank around here.
Carlito's in it.
Absolutely. And so, which I believe he did have I don't know if he had the lowest. No, he actually was pretty high. He was ranked PWI higher than some people than you would expect. And so, so we've got that. We've got all kinds of players in this one. We've got a cash in as well too that we're going to get to see. So we've got all kinds of just really cool stuff for this one. And picking it's obvious. Like, look at the names, look at, who is involved in this one. Of course, we just had the retirement tour with John Cena and everything that played out with that. And so, it's just, why not? Like, I have no clue. I don't remember this one either. And so it should be very interesting to have, this was before Elimination Chamber was a standalone event that it has since turned into. And so to get just this Elimination Chamber match during this show, just really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you think of the creation of this, and this is now either filling stadiums like it did in Toronto or filling, Chicago with insanely priced tickets and selling out immediately. So, all right, man, I'm pumped to cover this one. Let's get right into the build.
Oh, it's time for the build.
All right, so New Year's Revolution, 2006. January 8th of 2006. And believe it or not, this was a Raw brand pay-per-view. So this was only the superstars of Raw in 2006. We're in Albany, New York at the Pepsi Arena. We have 11,000, and this did a buy rate of 345,000. We start off with Ric Flair, who, of course, is your Intercontinental Champion, because why not? He's going to defeat Edge by DQ in 7 minutes. So a very poor night for Edge, as he could not win the Intercontinental Championship and had to go home sad. Trish Stratus is going to keep the Women's Championship in 7 minutes against Mickie James. Jerry Lawler is going to defeat Hurricane Helms, no idea why, in 9 minutes. Triple H is going to defeat the Big Show in 16 minutes. That match had to suck. There's just no way it didn't.
Oh, man.
Shelton Benjamin is going to defeat Viscera by 7 minutes. Let me repeat, that match had to suck.
7 minutes.
Yeah. Ashley Massaro is going to defeat Candice, Michelle, Maria, Tori Wilson, and Victoria in an 11-minute bra and panties gauntlet match. Guessing that match sucked. Then we have the Elimination Chamber, which is the reason we're here. We have Cena, Carlito, Chris Masters, Shawn Michaels, Kane, and Kurt Angle. And this is going to be a fun one. So let's talk about the build to this one, and then we can jump right into it, because it's a long match and we've got a lot to talk about during the match. So how do we get to this?
Yeah, so this, like I said, a lot of moving pieces on this one. So we'll start with John Cena, the WWE champ, the top face of the company, of course. We know will he, won't he turn heel? We'll have to wait to find out. But really, he was the brand. Like, he was carrying it, constant target, constant challengers, just taking on everybody. And so big part of what he was doing and who he was. And then you had everybody else they had positioned themselves as being able to potentially beat Cena, and they all had different things. So you had Carlito, who was the best way to put it, he's kind of the sneaky kind of opportunist, kind of getting into that. Chris Masters was, of course, the master lock specialist and just this, huge guy, friend of the pod, of course. Kane is Kane. He's just the monster heel. You had Kurt Angle, who had, the technical, it's Angle, the Olympic pedigree, and having that. And then on the flip side with Shawn Michaels and Edge, we'll kind of look at Shawn Michaels first. Like, they had been a tag team actually before, but you had HBK as just the veteran. And so it was booked as an elimination chamber match because it created that kind of unpredictability. Everybody could win, and the biggest part of the storyline was, could Cena kind of overcome all of this and being in there and doing it? And so, each one had ongoing angles in Raw, like you said, like this is a Raw show. So there was all kinds of moving pieces with that. But it was really, could Cena keep the title and beat all of these people? And so when you look at the names, it's Hall of Famers. It's big name people. And so just have to wait and see what happens. But all good stuff. Yep.
All right, man. Well, I'm pumped to cover this one. We have a lot to talk about related to the Elimination Chamber, a lot to talk about with these wrestlers that are in there. Jeff, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, 2 hour, 2 minute mark of the New Year's Revolution pay-per-view, New Year's Revolution 2006. Are you ready?
Let's go.
All right, it's time for the payoff.
Oh, it's time for the payoff.
King, you mentioned the mixed reaction for the WWE Champion, John Cena. Obviously, I'm not a competitor.
So there's a Cena sucks chant. I didn't realize he was a heel in 2006.
I thought it was CM Punk chant.
So, yeah. Okay, this wasn't the first thing I was going to bring up, but let's talk about it for a minute here. Cena heel turn. I mean, what do you think? And I'll share what I think about this. You had to book him for an. You had to. Oh, go ahead. You go first.
As I say, the heel turn. It was the greatest heel turn until the show ended, and then they had no clue what to do with it. Absolutely no idea, and so it just kind of shit on itself at that point. Like, nobody had any clue what to do. Like, it was great, and we all wanted it, but I think they proved it's not what he can do, or it's not what he's supposed to do. I think he could do it. We did prove that in the moment. It was just the biggest thing ever. But on the flip side, then, it didn't hit like it was supposed to after. I think because they just didn't know what to do. And so I would almost rank the turn itself bigger than, here's the controversial one. I would rank the turn itself bigger than Hogan, but the storyline that played out after is like a 2 out of 10, just not where it needs to be at all.
I think that's fair. I think the actual moment was shocking and fantastic. I think part of the problem is the guy's just not a heel. Okay. And what do we know about wrestling? Most of the best superstars ever were extensions of their natural self. Okay. Steve Austin turned up to a 15. Dwayne Johnson turned up to a 15. Okay. It's just these amped up versions of themselves so often works. Okay. Cody Rhodes. I mean, you're getting the natural guy. Okay. And it's yucking it up as a baby face more than maybe his natural self, but you're getting a lot of authenticity there. Shawn Michaels, Attitude Era. Shit, that's just the way the guy was. I mean, you were getting on camera what Vince was getting off camera, and it worked. I'll tell you another one, and we can talk more about him later, but Bret Hart. What was the best thing Bret Hart ever did in his career? It's when he was a whiny ass heel And you know why it works so well? Because we found out in real life, he's a whiny ass heel. Okay. Yep. He's like, when he was on screen getting booed for complaining about things, those were real life grievances the guy had. Now, at the time, we didn't know that. We're like, oh, what a great heel. Well, now we know that's just the way he was. And that's why it worked so well, because you believed it, because he was speaking his truth. He didn't think people should boo him. He thought that Shawn Michaels was awful. He thought that wrestling was bad, blah, blah, blah. I mean, these are all things he actually thought. So we have Cena and Shawn Michaels in the ring right now. But yeah, I think and we'll have a new competitor, I guess, 5 minutes in. So I guess the big thing with me with Cena was I totally agree with you. There was not a long thought out plan. That's correct. Number one. Number two is I just don't think it worked, because to me, it came across like a guy playing a heel versus someone that naturally had those tendencies. When Drew McIntyre's kind of a dick, like, that's just the way he is. And it's not like he's a bad person. He's got a little bit of an edge to him. He's not like a super warm and bubbly guy. So it works really well. Cena is just a babyface's babyface in real life. So maybe the heel turn would have worked better at the height of his popularity. But at this stage, because of his personality, I don't think it worked. Now, that being said, let me give you another point, which is, what else were you going to do? So here's the thing. You know, like towards the end of the year, people were like, oh, we didn't want to see him as a heel. Okay, Jeff, you know wrestling fans well enough to know, if John Cena had been a babyface all year, and he had been the babyface against AJ Styles, and the babyface against Logan Paul, and the babyface against Cody, and the babyface against CM Punk, you know that come pick a month, October, August, they would have shit all over it and been booing him because they were sick of Super Cena and they were sick of 12 straight months of same old shit. So I just think you had to do something this year that was deviating from just 12 months of the same thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just, and I think too, you didn't touch at all on like The Rock's involvement. Like, to this day, until we get like one of those Unreal episodes of what The Rock was doing, like, we're just not gonna know, exactly like what he did or didn't do to help that situation. And so probably didn't help it as much as he could have, but we'll never know. But yeah, it's just tough to think of the what could have been. Yeah.
Okay. War games or Elimination Chamber, which do you prefer?
After that, like, me personally, like, I would actually take Elimination Chamber right now. I think that the War Games concept works. It's one of those, like, we were doing Hell in the Cell every year because it was on the calendar. You don't always need a Hell in the Cell. And like, same with it, I don't always think you need War Games. I would actually be okay with a War Games match being on a different card. Now, does that screw things up because the dual rings and all that other stuff? Yeah. But I think that, like you said, it felt too just too overproduced. Ooh, sorry, alarm. Too overproduced with people that, like, there wasn't a ton of rationale for why we were getting this. Like, yeah, okay, they hate each other and they're kind of teaming up, but it just didn't hit like anybody wanted to, and the finish was a different story. We don't even have to talk about that. But yeah, it's just one of those where I right now would rather watch Elimination Chamber, because then at least then there is a little bit more to it. Yeah.
To me, it's Elimination Chamber's light years better. The War Game, I mean, if you had two great factions or a great faction and 5 logical people to go against that faction, or 2 different sides. We've joked about it in the past, but legends versus, current stars. I mean, can you imagine in a War Games, and again, it's never going to happen, but if you were to put together Austin, Rock, Michaels, Undertaker, Angle, and because it's like 5-on-5, you could kind of protect them. They wouldn't have to do a ton. The place would go crazy for anything they did. But can you imagine them against 5 heels like that? So in that scenario, I think it would be cool as shit. But I think from what we've seen over the last 5 years of these 2 matches, God, Kurt Angle's just going absolutely nuts.
Crazy, yeah. Being Angle, yep.
But because we have I know. Carlito just took a nasty spill over there. But because we have this like random 5-on-5 for the most part, that's somewhat forced. This to me, the Elimination Chamber just makes more sense. So you have 6 guys that are all go, and there's always stakes, right? It's either a title shot at WrestleMania or it's the title. So there's always stakes involved versus War Games where you really don't have stakes. And then the other piece of it is I like the Elimination Chamber because everyone except the winner eats a pinfall, submission, even if it's cheating or they get screwed out. It just feels like it's more definitive. Like someone will win this match. War Games, I think the heels won this year. I don't even remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they did.
Great. Like I said, I don't even remember. So it's pretty wild, man.
Why can't we remember this? It was literally a couple weeks ago. Because you
get my point. You get my point. There's like it's just an exhibition match. I don't know. To me, it's Elimination Chamber all day is better.
I saw recently too. We got Cena and Angle now, just the only 2 that are kind of the Carlito just kind of laid out in doing that. I saw recently that there was a writer position open at WWE. And people were fantasy booking. And so let's just say you get hired for the job and it's day 1. Let's say the start of 2026. What are your top couple of things that you are going to propose in the writer's room?
Yeah, first thing I'd do is I'd pitch a comeback angle for Shawn Michaels.
Okay. Yeah. Of course.
And then surprised there. Why did we hire this stupid Mark?
Right.
I'm not the big critic of the writing that other people are. There's just this vocal minority on Twitter that just hate everything. Oh my goodness. Like one of my favorite things is there's a lot of people that I feel have bashed Cody's babyface run. And I'm like, dude, the guy has been in some great feuds. He has phenomenal matches. So if I'm in the writer's room, I'm not now, if I was in the writer's room 10 years ago, 15 years ago, then yeah, I'd probably have some incredibly strong opinions because I thought the product sucked then. But right now, I think it's just more of the same. We love the long-term, long-term storytelling, but I love the product right now. I never thought at my age and for as long as I've been watching this and for how bad it sucked 10 years ago, I never thought I'd be this into the current product at this stage. I thought it would be more likely that I'd stop watching. If you would have told me 10 years ago, you'll be way more into it now than you were 10 years ago, I would have never believed you. But here I am. So to answer your question, if I'm in the writer's room, I to me, it's more of the same. I think everything's being done. And here's the other thing too, is I think so often when people are critical of a certain storyline or something that occurs, they're looking at it in the moment. Meaning, like when I look at what they're doing, and I think you're the same way, correct me if I'm wrong, but like when I look at what they're doing, I'm like, okay, well, you need to do Saturday night's main event. You need to have a blockbuster first Raw of the year because of the Netflix deal. You have Rumble coming up in Saudi Arabia and they paid a fortune for it, so you have to deliver there. You have to go back and do another Saturday night's main event. I mean, like, I'm looking at the landscape and I'm saying, okay, based on that, this does or doesn't make sense. So it's not, and people would say, oh, you're just defending the product, or you're just defending the company.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to be realistic that, would it be interesting to see Cody Rhodes turn heel right now? Yeah, but he's your babyface, Make-A-Wish, top star face of the company. Why in the world, from a business standpoint, would you do that? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing, and I don't think that I would shake anything up, to be quite honest with you. I mean, what do you think? And by the way, Shawn Michaels just eliminated Kurt Angle. I think we have everyone in the ring except for Kane, maybe.
Kane, yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Okay. So what about you from a writing standpoint?
Yeah. So it's hard because you pull at one thread and then all of a sudden it's 6 other threads that you have to deal with. Injuries, all this other stuff. And I think like everybody's an armchair booker. We're all an armchair quarterback and coach and all that other stuff. But it's like when you actually think about it and you use, people use a little common sense, like booking the show. But I say booking the show. Booking what? Even if you take Raw and SmackDown, twice a week show with potential crossover storylines, plus then you have to build to probably a monthly event so that you can have that fall into place well. Plus you have to be building to like a 4-time, maybe 5-time a year big event. Like, you're going to miss sometimes. And I think that like whatever the payoff, with the Survivor Series stuff, it's not it for the build up to the match and the names that were in it. Whoever is behind, whoever behind the mask, it just can't live up to what it was. It just can't, and so it's not going to be a thing. So. And that's why, so I think, yeah, I'm with you. Like, okay, yeah, would I do a few things? Like, do I want, Uso in the main event? No, I don't. Okay, that's fine. Like, I can get rid of that, and do some of that. Do I want to add, another person to the faction, the Vision faction? Sure. Yeah. Okay. Do I want some younger guys and women too to start being out there and getting over? Yes, I'd probably do some call ups here and there, but then also, okay, call them up. Then what do I do with them? Like, they're not immediately in the title picture, and you're dealing with that. So you've got to, especially there is a disconnect between the amount of people that watch NXT versus the amount of people that watch Raw and SmackDown. So you do have to reintroduce them in a lot of ways. The people going to the shows, no, they don't need those reintroductions, but to the parent that sits down with their kid and maybe watches it, as the kid's running around the room playing, like, they're not as locked in. Like, and so if you're going to build these I sent to you the other day, what was it? The Rookie of the Year list from Dave Meltzer for the last, since they've been doing the list, and like out of 30 names, you and I were like, there was like 2 hits. And that was it. I mean, they're putting Ronda on there. They're putting Pat McAfee on there. Like, I think anybody in the last 2-3 years, like you said, to your point, like the long storytelling, like we have no clue. It's hard to say. We don't know if they're a Rookie of the Year until it's 2-3 years out. Like, it's just weird. But I think that speaks to like, it's not easy. Like, yeah, we see it online. Like, there's no shortage of people complaining about how things are being booked. but it's all cyclical too. Like today, it is the greatest era, or it's going to be the most epic SmackDown, most epic Raw ever. And then next week, it's going to be a terrible show. And we're going to get 3 matches over 2 hours and then a bunch of promos. It's just how it goes. Yeah. So it's hard. I think I'm with you. There isn't one specific thing that I would want to do that would like blow it all up.
Well, and you bring up Jey Uso, and I agree with you. If I never saw him on my television again, I wouldn't care. That being said, and this is where it's like I try to keep these things in mind. If you're sitting in a business meeting and Triple H says to you, Jey Uso has the second highest selling t-shirt over the past 90 days, and he's getting monster ovations. Oh, well, we probably shouldn't squash him. We probably should have him in a prominent spot. So that's what makes it tough, is it's just, and Bruce Pritchard on his podcast does a great job of like explaining these things. And it's not excuses, but it's like, yeah, in a perfect world, turning Hulk Hogan heel at the end of WrestleMania 6 and attacking the Ultimate Warrior was the best storyline you could have written. The problem was he had a movie coming out. Okay? The problem was he sold a bunch of merch. The problem is we had already made him a babyface in the video game that was coming out in 6 months that we had high hopes for. Oh, can't turn him heel. I mean, it was so, you have to understand all of that.
Well, and I know one of the big complaints during Survivor Series was every promo was like a sponsor ad or like an ad break. It's like, okay, have you been watching television in the last 40 years? Like, yeah, like, why do we joke about Slim Jim? Why do we joke about Snickers? It's because, they throw it down our throats every single time we watch. Like, there's commercials for a reason. And so I get it. No, like, whatever. Like, the promo includes some random product placement, but like, watch any movie. Like, Wayne's World made fun of that. Like, there's all kinds of different stuff. Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, look, it's obvious that WWE and UFC are going to look like the NFL. And how many commercials air during an NFL game? Shit, I don't know, but a lot. More than the wrestling show, right? More than the wrestling show on ESPN. There's going to be product placements. There's going to be ads on the canvas. There's going to be commercials. They shifted their model. The people paying the rights fees can do whatever in the hell they want. If ESPN wants to put it behind a paywall, they will. If they want to run ads, they will. There's ads on Raw now on Netflix. I mean, it's just what are you going to do? Well, I don't want to watch ads. Okay, but I want it to be free. I don't want to pay. I want to have free content. Well, there's that. It's just not how it works. So,
nope.
All right. So,
and look at the best examples. Like, go ahead.
No, go.
I'd say the best example is NFL Red Zone. Yes. They said week 1, we're not going to do a whole bunch of ads. And it was like 45 seconds of ads. And then somebody looked at it as the season went on, and it went up every single week. So yes, it's only 5 minutes of ads, but people like, okay. But there's also, like you said, there's a point like, okay, like we're watching on Peacock, we're watching on Peacock. Like, okay, there was an ad free version. You could pay for that, but you're paying for it. Like, and all this other stuff. Like, it's always the joke, like, $1 here, $2 there, with our rates are going up on these different things. Yeah, just a bloody Shawn Michaels out there though, looking very good. It's like those, like, it is going to eventually hit a bubble here where people do, cut cable, like they're going to cut streaming like they did because it's turned back into cable. But I don't know what that's going to look like. But also, like, I know what I like to watch. I want to watch what I want to watch, so I'm going to pay for it. Like that at the end of the day, no, I don't need 37 services. And like, it can add up quick, but at the same time, like, I know I'm watching ESPN. I know I'm watching, like any more or less Peacock, but Disney and Hulu's not going away. It's just, like you said, you can't have your cake, and eat it too. It's just not a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if you don't watch it live, like if you watch the recording, I don't know if the commercials are in there or not, but when you're watching it, for a 4-match show, when you're watching it live, I mean, I just got in the rhythm of, okay, I'll go to the bathroom during this break. I'll go grab something for dinner during this break. Leading into the Survivor Series, leading into the Nikki Stephanie Vaquer match, I didn't really care about the match, so I went and took a shower. So it's like, I know there's gonna be a commercial. I know that match is up next. I mean, like, it's okay to have a life and do other things while these shows are on. And so, yeah, it didn't bother me at all. Oh, and that's a big surprise there. Carlito just pinned Shawn Michaels.
Oh my gosh!
All right, so Shawn's out here.
Masters trying to pin Cena. So who is we've got Masters, Carlito, and Cena.
Is that it? Is Kane gone too?
Yeah, Kane he got double eliminated by Carlito and Masters both pinning him to hold him down. Yes.
Okay. All right. It's crazy to think, but this match is almost 24 years old. So the first one, 2002 Survivor Series, we've covered that one. Shawn Michaels wins, Madison Square Garden, pretty awesome match. But, we started to have these. There was one at New Year's Revolution the year before this. There's this one. We had two of them. We had a Raw one and an SmackDown / ECW one in 2008. 2 in 2009, 10, 11, 12, only 1 in 13, 1 in 14. 15 was the year we had the tag team one, which I don't know if you remember, but it was really good. We had a 7-man chamber in 2018. 2018 was the first year we had the women's one as well, which we've had ever since then, and that's been great. There's a women's tag one in 2019.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. And so, obviously now we have the pay-per-view that started. It looks like in I don't know what year it started. Never mind. I don't have that here. All right. So a little bit of trivia for you. Who has the most wins? So there's a ton of guys that have 1 win. There's one guy that has 4 wins.
I'm going to guess Triple H.
Bingo, you got it.
Nailed it.
Two guys are tied for the most eliminations with 8 each.
Oof, most eliminations? Well, you figure it's got to be the people that have been in there for a while. Is Triple H up there? I'm going to just take a stab.
Nope.
Okay.
He had 6.
One
of them's pretty obvious. Randy Orton.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, the other one's a little bit of a surprise. The other one is Chris Jericho.
Oh, geez. Okay, yeah. All right, didn't expect that one, but all right, got it.
So we've had World Heavyweight Championship, WWE Championship. We've had an IC title one. We've had a Tag Team Champion one. We've had a Women's one. We've had Women's Tag ones, and then we've had number 1 contenders one. So there's a lot of different stakes that have occurred.
When I'm looking to see what the first one was 2002 during Survivor Series.
Yep.
And that was Shawn Michaels beating Triple H, Booker T, Chris Jericho, Kane, and Rob Van Dam.
And that's still the longest ever. It was 39 minutes.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's always weird seeing especially it was very branded for a long time there. Those first few years, there was an ECW one too, of course. But yeah, interesting. So you got Carlito and Masters with just beating the crap out of Cena at this point. That's where we're at.
My prediction is Chris Masters is going to win this match.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. Yep.
I think he's going to be the world champion.
Get some blood. We got a little bit of blood on Cena at this point. Yep.
And they're just straight double teaming him. So one other thing on the Cena retirement tour that I wanted to talk about.
Sure.
I think I text this to you. So I laugh on Twitter when people are complaining about the Cena and year end, his final year, the final run.
Yeah.
In the history of professional wrestling, okay, the entire history of it, I want you to tell me which retirements are better than this year-long Cena send-off in the history. Okay?
Yeah. There isn't.
There isn't. And it's the only answer that you can potentially give. Oh, there you go. Cena wins with a roll-up.
Yep. After Carlito eliminated Masters, Cena eliminated Carlito.
So that's what's so funny about this, is we're critical of this Cena thing. It's the greatest retirement in history, and it's not even close. Can you, what else is in there?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What the hell?
Don't go anywhere.
Oh, jeez.
Nobody goes anywhere. This night is not over. Raise the cage.
What does he mean? Raise the elimination chamber? What do you mean?
Raise the cage, I said.
Look at the WWE champion.
The reason this night is not over will become apparent in a moment. First of all, I'd like to congratulate John Cena in retaining the WWE Championship.
I don't know how sincere that is. Maybe about as sincere as the good luck to Shawn Michaels.
Therefore, there's one more match to happen here tonight. And this individual is cashing in his money in the bank privilege that he earned at WrestleMania. The WWE Championship match will take place right here, right now.
Oh, my.
John Cena defends against Edge.
He's for human.
Well, I thought, and I said it earlier tonight, are you kidding me? That Edge would use it at WrestleMania. But Edge is cashing in and cashing it in big time.
All right, so here comes Edge. I could have done without all of the Vince McMahon commentary. I think it would have been cooler if Edge just came out with the briefcase. I mean, maybe this was early enough in Money in the Bank that people still needed a little bit of an explanation, but it's like, I didn't need it spoiled. Like, it would have been better if his music just hit. So I actually think that was horribly done.
Wasn't this the first cash-in?
Oh, was it?
I thought, this was the first cash-in. Pulling it up here.
So if that's the case, then that would make sense, right?
Yeah, this is the first cash-in.
Okay, There you go. Okay, so then that actually makes sense that people wouldn't have either remembered. I don't even know if he carried. Actually, I don't even know. I don't think he even had a briefcase. So
he won it. He won it at 21 WrestleMania. Yeah. And then that's why and then cashed in here. Yep.
Okay. So there was no briefcase. It had never been done before. So that actually explains that actually makes sense.
It makes more sense, but yeah. Right. I'm with you now. How they do it now, you figure Vince wanted to be involved with it too. There's no way he didn't. When they were doing this for the first time, but yeah, this was the first cash in. Yep.
Okay.
And so Edge kind of lined him up.
So my point is that there's nothing that compares to it. You can say like Ric Flair's send off, but then he ruined it by getting back in the ring 6 months later or whatever it was.
Right.
Did he get it?
No, he didn't. How in the world did John Cena
Crimson Mask here? Yep.
So that's what's so funny. And then you go down the list and you say, okay, let's talk about the all-time greats in wrestling. Austin, he went with a whimper. Now I know he came back and wrestled, but okay, he went out. Mick Foley returned a month after his. Hulk Hogan wrestled in a 6-way match in a dark match for TNA in his final match. Triple H's final match was on a house show. I mean, you just go down the list, right? It's like, how many people actually had a send-off?
Another spear.
There you go. All right, there we go. So you and I are aligned to the fact that, I mean, very few people have had a send off at all. Of the send offs we've had, nothing else touches this. I mean, it's the gold standard.
No.
And the other thing too is now that people, I mean, Goldberg obviously shit on his own, but like now that people have seen this, like you're telling me that other guys aren't going to want to come back and have their own. So anyways, all right, let's get to the aftermath.
Ho! It's time for the aftermath.
What'd you think?
Yeah, really good match overall. Like I said, you have to do these twofold. You can't just watch the Edge and Cena match afterward and kind of know what's happening. Like you had to get the build of Cena and going through the whole match and being bloodied and then finally getting there in the end. So, good stuff. Like all around, like, being the first cash in, Cena, knowing the career he's had and watching his trajectory, of course, over this time. And, this is 20 years ago at this point, which just feels nuts. But really good stuff. And then the Elimination Chamber match was pretty good. It wasn't overbooked. It was just good stuff. Yeah. Thoughts? What do you think? Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Good.
Yep. I enjoyed it.
Okay, so this one, but of course you had Cena retaining, but then losing. So kind of getting into all that, just kind of interesting. Of course, there's all kinds of different other storylines and kind of what played into it as well. But you had Edge, Angle, Michaels, all the top. There's people were top tier faces of the company, but then also Carlitos, Masters, and Kane being the heels of the company. Just really interesting. So PWI on this one, the worst ranked one here, use that loosely, is Chris Masters, who was 219. Kane being 50, Carlito 27, coming in before both of them. Shawn Michaels 9, and then you get the big boys here of Edge number 3, Kurt Angle number 2, and John Cena number 1. Overall, this show actually got thumbs down 47% to 21% thumbs up in the middle 30%. Elimination Chamber by 100 votes getting the best match on this one, but then right below that it was Edge and Cena. Everything else sucked on this one, so just wasn't great. So. But like it said here, they teased the idea of Michaels being screwed by Vince in this match. It went nowhere. Cena opened with Michaels. The 5-minute periods were cut to either 4 or 4:15. People booed Cena. They didn't cheer Michaels as much as you'd think. Michaels super kicked Cena. Carlito came behind, gave Michaels a neck breaker. Just a lot of different things happening. But 3.5 stars for like the Elimination Chamber match. Vince McMahon ordered the cage to be lifted and said Edge was cashing in the Money in the Bank right there. Cena was bloodied and beaten. Edge threw a few punches, hit a spear, but Cena kicked out. He hit a second spear and then got the pin. 1 star. So 3.5 and 1 star match. I can kind of see why he did it, but what are you thinking?
So this Money in the Bank thing became a massive success. We still talk about Edge's cash-in. We still talk about some of the other cash-ins. They've created their own branded pay-per-view around this. But according to Meltzer, it sucked, right?
Yep. Just not having the foresight to know what it could be.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. It was awesome. This was great.
Yep.
I'd say start to finish, I'll give it an 8 because of the history of it. The match was really good. The after match shenanigans were great. It started this whole new element of the product for the men and the women. We've got all these great moments. We've elevated champions. We've made heels more dastardly when they win it. It's great. Huge fan. What about you?
Yep. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm going to give it an 8 as well. Just the whole exchange, both the Elimination Chamber and this aftermatch. You can't grade them separately. You have to grade them together. Like I get it was technically a different match, and I'm sure that's why for whatever reason like this. But I don't know if Meltzer just didn't like Edge at this point. He didn't want him to lose the belt or whatever it was. I don't know, but at the same time, like. how could you not be entertained at the same time? Like, it was a new concept at this point in the cash in. We know how big of a deal, like everybody remembers Seth Rollins running down the ramp to cash in at Mania, how big of a moment that was. Like, the cash ins have given us very high highs and very low lows too. Like, a lot of people just don't, they're not, they're cash in the same night. I remember Dean Ambrose cashed in that same night. So a lot of that type of stuff. But yeah, I think overall, like, it was just really good. Like, the match was good, and knowing what it now has led to, you almost want to score it a little higher because it works so well now, and they've turned it into it's now the big five versus the big four, which is crazy. And they're moving it on the calendar to be more efficient and more or better for everyone. Like, it just, match aside, the gimmick and the cash in, like, you can't not enjoy that. Yep.
Good. I like this one a lot.
All right,
We got a fun one next week.
I was gonna say, what are we doing here? And we had said this was one of the longer ones, so thanks for sticking it out for us. We got a bunch of, decent length matches, the low teen minutes, whatever it might be. But yeah, next week we're going to, we got some Rumble action, Royal Rumble 2010, Rey Mysterio versus The Undertaker, actually, for the championship. That one should be fun. After that one, we're actually doing a WWE main event. Of course, don't remember this one, but Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage at main event with the referee of Buster Douglas. And so don't really remember that one. And then we've got just a big tag. Oh, not even a tag. It's like a 5-man versus 5-man. We're ready to go, man. February is going to be loaded. March is loaded in the lead up to Mania. I got some good. I'm looking. You don't even know this. I'm looking at the calendar right now. I see some WrestleMania matches on here that, kind of shocked how they slipped through our grasp. But we're going to cover them and get them handled.
Good. I'm excited, man. Well, good stuff. And we appreciate everyone listening. We'll see you next week on an all new episode of The Payoff.